All right, guys. Today we have a very special guest joining us. Cleveland Charge head coach Mike Gerrity is making his second appearance on the podcast, which means he is now officially a friend of the podcast, whether he likes it or not. Coach, thank you so much for joining us today. How are you doing?
Officially a friend of the pod. How about it, Coach?
That's big time. I've been waiting for that.
I'm sure you have.
Only took me a few years.
I'm sure it's the biggest honor of your career. We want to be respectful of your time, so I've got a million questions here about the Charge and how the Cavs have used the G League to develop players. But I think when people think of the Charge this season, the first name that comes to mind is Emoni Bates. There is so much excitement over what he's done. Fourth in showcase scoring in terms of points per game. You've had some time with him now since the draft, through winning a championship in summer league and now time around the team. What has stood out to you, whether it be something that's surprising or something that really stands out about your time with Emoni so far?
I think the one thing that has stood out to me most is just like his thirst to be in the gym and his thirst to get better. I think that is one of the most exciting things about Emoni, being that he's only 19 years old still, yet he wants to grow and he wants to learn and he wants to be in this league for a long time. And so he's really gravitated to the coaching. And from the moment he stepped foot in this building, he's really given us 100% effort and focus. And we've been very, very pleased with that. Obviously, his game speaks for himself. But when you're young and you're coming into this league, you really have to have that growth mindset and understand that there is a learning curve and there is a lot that you still have to learn when you're a rookie. And so the fact that he's embraced that and been willing to be coached and grow has been awesome so far for us.
I think, when you're reviewing a guy like Emoni's college tape, he was a guy who dribbled the ball a lot. He was the lead on ball creator for both of his college teams. That was kind of his rep through high school. And, in the reps that most Cavs fans have gotten to see, he's really been an elite catch and shoot guy and a movement shooter. Was that kind of like a thing where you sat down with him at the beginning of the season and said, hey, we know you've got all these skills, but we want to help you focus your game? Like what's the approach with a player like that?
Yeah, I think with Emoni, he's obviously an incredible scorer, shot creator in a number of different ways. And so the conversations that I've had with Coach JB is, allowing him to just be himself, right? And be an efficient scorer and not to take away his shot creation ability, but, really focusing in on just making him an efficient offensive player. And I think you see that with all, the players at this next level is just their efficiency, their shot selection, and making sure that we're getting great ones versus good ones. And so he's continuing to grow. Obviously, when he's with the Charge, there's a little bit more responsibility and weight as far as the defenses that are thrown at him, the plays that are getting run for him at this current moment. So, he's finding that balance of, making and taking shots, but also choosing and selecting the right ones. And another thing we've been very impressed with is his unselfishness and his ability to make plays for his teammates. And he's improving game to game in that area as well with the attention he's drawn in the G League.
Is there a balancing act for you as a coach, developing these guys in the G League, understanding that their role when playing in the G League is going to be a little bit different than in the NBA, where some guys may have strengths that help you win games at that level, but may not necessarily be their role when they make it to the NBA? Do you have to kind of balance those, go-to reps that help you produce at that level with some of those developmental reps as well?
Yeah, I think there definitely is the balance to that. And I think, whether it be for Emoni or Isaiah, for instance, of our two ways. Obviously, we haven't seen Craig Porter Jr. He's been doing an incredible job with the Cavs so far. But those two guys that have been with me up until this point, there is that balance because at the end of the day, they're competitors and they want to win games and they're extremely talented and they can go do it in a number of different ways. Some of those ways might not be exactly how they're utilized with the Cavs ball club, but we want to make sure that throughout the game and a majority of the games that they are able to settle into those roles and find those spots and those shots. And, we're talking a lot about offense, but defense is the biggest piece, especially for young players trying to find the floor. Can they be up to speed on our defensive system? Can they contain the basketball and get the ball where it's supposed to go to? And are they able to impact the game on that defensive end of the floor to allow them to be able to be who they are on the offensive side?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense, and it is a balance of excelling at the stuff they're already good at now and the stuff they need to be great at to get to the next level. And a player who has gotten to demonstrate what he's great at the next level is a guy like Sam Merrill. And he spent last year mostly in the G League with the Cavs, and went pretty nuts. And he's a really interesting guy because he's not a rookie. He was around the league for a long time, kind of at the end of rotations, maybe not getting the chances to show the breadth of his game. Can you speak a little bit to how the G League kind of helped Sam leapfrog into what's looking like a potential rotation spot moving forward, just getting that opportunity to actually get to show what he can do?
Yeah, like you said, Sam has been around this league for a while now and battled some injuries early on in his NBA career. And when we got him, he was finally starting to get himself healthy and be right again. And the greatest and most exciting time, and especially looking back at it now, was when we did have that number one pick with the G League draft, and we selected Sam with that number one pick. And I just remember watching him on film, and I thought he would be a great fit for our Charge team and the pieces that we had last season. But we also, as a front office and staff, also saw the potential and the opportunity for Sam to be an impact for the Cavs at some point, because he wasn't a two-way coming into us. He was a draft pick and a roster player for us. And I think the front office, as well as the coaching staff, saw that potential in Sam. And obviously we acquired Max and George, and there's a whole lot of shooting out there now, but he really was a piece that we thought could fit. And I can't speak highly enough of Sam as far as just a person and character. And it's just no surprise to me that he's having the success, as crazy as that may sound, for him, being in the G League last season and, having the impact that he is having with the Cavs. But I was able to watch that guy every single day in and day out, put in the work, show up to practice, never take a rep off, was always paying attention to every single little detail. I can say in my whole entire season, whether it be practice or whether it be game, I never saw that guy take one play off. And it's exactly why, everybody gets, excited about his shooting ability. But one thing that he is so good at is his defense, and just his ability to just be physical and to know exactly where he's supposed to get the ball and the spots that he's supposed to be in. So the great thing about Sam is he's a two-way player. He can make threes at a ridiculous clip, but also he is on the defensive end, somebody that you can trust every single possession down the floor.
Yeah, I've been really impressed by his screen navigation and just the way that he competes on that end, his positioning. Like, you can just tell he's someone that thinks the game at a very high level. When you get a guy like Emoni Bates or Sam Merrill that clearly has that NBA level skill, like that elite skill, like shooting, is the biggest hurdle for getting their games to translate to the next level just that understanding of how to round out their game, of where they need to be? Or what would you say for people that are looking for indicators for a guy like Emoni, that he's ready to take that next step, or signs for growth throughout this season with the Charge? What's kind of that thing that you work on the most or emphasize the most about rounding out their game to get that elite skill to translate to the NBA level?
Yeah, I mentioned it earlier, but Emoni's an incredible shot maker and shot creator. And he's shooting the three-point shot at a great percentage, and he's shooting it at a high rate as well. So feel so confident in him when he gets open shots, whether it be in Summer League this past year or so far with the Charge. And even in his time with the Cavs. You know, when he gets those open looks, I mean, you can almost count it. So the biggest thing for him as a young guy is it's a brand new defensive system. And, you know, at 19 years old, you're trying to learn a lot that's coming at you quickly. And so the great thing about the G League and that training ground for him is he gets to go out every single day, every single night, and be able to put that into play against really good basketball players at a high level and continue to grow and get better at that. You know, for him, really understanding the defensive system, and being in his spots on the floor. The Cavs have a great defensive system, and they have, you know, great rim protectors and Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. And so him really just understanding his spots that he needs to be on the floor and being able to be great at those is really going to give him a great chance when he gets back up with the Cavs.
I was actually going to pivot to Craig Porter Jr. because obviously you had some time around him in summer league. Has it surprised you at all just how quickly he's adapted to the NBA game?
So Craig, he just really wowed me in summer league, and having the chance to just be around him during training camp and then all the way through, you know, training camp with the Cavs this year. Obviously, you know, the success he's having and playing 40 minutes and almost having a triple-double one game is, I'd be lying if I just said, oh, I knew he was going to be playing 40 minutes and get a triple-double. But there is no doubt that when he came into that building and I had a chance to be around him during that summer, that I saw an NBA point guard. Obviously, he was a two-way, but I knew down the line that he was going to be somebody that could impact this Cavaliers organization at a high level. And so, you know, you just see his size, his body, his athleticism, all the tools that he has. But, you know, credit to our front office for, you know, seeing the potential in Craig and selecting him as a two-way. And then, you know, our coaching staff continuing to work with him and develop him this year throughout the season with the Cavs and having him be able to make the impact that he has. It's been really cool to see because if you get to know Craig, he's a great person with an awesome personality and just wants to impact winning for the team. So really neat to see the success he's having.
Yeah, I mean, and I think we'd be remiss. I know we're running low on time, but we have to ask you about that Summer League experience because Summer League is not famous for being a bastion of great basketball. You know, like it's a great showcase for a lot of guys, but the basketball is not always clean. And then the Summer League Cavs that you coached were playing this wonderfully together game where no one seemed to have any ego and no one needed to lead the team in scoring. Everyone's just playing together and really playing to win. Like, what was that experience coaching that team like? Because it felt very unusual from an outside perspective compared to most Summer League teams.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot of fun, and credit to our front office for putting together a Summer League roster that they did. And they put a ton of talent around us and they made our job very easy and fun. But JB always talks about it, and you guys hear it. He talks about being the most competitive team, the most selfless team every time we step on the floor. And that was our message to the Cavs Summer League roster, is that's what we wanted to do. And anytime you have opportunities to play meaningful basketball games and you're able to have those type of, you know, players, whether it be, you know, Craig and Emoni and Sam and Luke Travers, you know, like the list goes on. But the fun thing and the cool thing about that group is they really just embrace their roles and who they were supposed to be for the team. And you could totally see it in just the way that they played together and their connectivity, but they shared the game on the offensive end and they played together and for each other on the defensive end. And it was really just a fun experience, and super thankful that we all got to be a part of that.
It was super fun to watch. Like Carter said, it was amazing to see just the continuity. You know, guys like Sharif stepping up in the way that they did. It was great to see, because I started tuning in a little bit more watching the Charge in the playoffs last year, and I've been watching a ton of them this year. So we really do appreciate your time. It's been a lot of fun following the team. Maybe we'll do another check-in with the Charge later on in the season. But all the best. And
a three-timer
really
club. Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
I'm a friend of the podcast, so I'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
You're now part of the gang. We really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you, Coach.
All right. Big thanks to Coach for coming on the podcast. Big thanks to our listeners as well. Remember, if you want to support us, like and subscribe on YouTube. Click notification bell so you know when we're going live. If you're listening via podcast and you want to support us, leave us a rating, leave a review, subscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe, and help cook those books. If you want to be part of Chasedown's exclusive Discord chat, send a screenshot of the review to chasedownpod@gmail.com. However you choose to support us, we really do appreciate it. Make sure you guys are staying safe out there. Until next time, go Cavs.